Good evening and welcome to the second episode, we didn't think we'd get this far, of Boiled Piss. This is a special episode really to show our love for Nate. So, and with us this evening is the Yorkshire Terrier, Mr. Wayne Hudson. A message for Nate, Wayne. Got to unmute yourself first.
A twat on a hairy brick.
And also with us is Simon, who also has a message for Nate. You're muted, Simon.
Yeah, cunt buckets, fuck shit, asshole. Hey, Sharona.
Jim with another message for Nate.
Yeah, Grandma's flange.
And
Is that a dripping one? Is that a dripping flange?
Oh, soaking Grandma's flange.
And the poor man's Lenny. Aidan, message for Nate.
Piss fat cunt.
Thank you very much, and fuck you, Nate. He's probably just wanked himself into a coma by now, I should think. But
yeah. I'm so moral. Ooh.
So.
I just
Anyway,
wanted to bring out
I know what it feels like up the arse.
so we're eventually going to get round to some serious chat about something.
Jim, have you tricked any women into sleeping with you lately?
Not that still living.
Right. Yeah, there is that.
But my patio has grown a little bit in the last week.
It's becoming a ha-ha.
The wood chipper is working well for you then.
I've got to confess, I have not tricked any women into sleeping with me just lately. Because if I fell into a swimming pool full of tits, I'd come out sucking my thumb.
Or fundies, as they're normally known. But Nate, I'm afraid, you know, the latest.
I have a bit of news if you're really interested.
Is it Nate linked?
No, it's not. It's just
Fuck off then.
We'll go just a little off the side track here for a second. The 12th of July is coming up the north, and my girlfriend, yes, I do have one, actually suggested we should go to the north, up to Belfast, and stay on the 12th of July in the city centre.
Does she not know?
No, she doesn't know. She lives in a naive world. But anyway, just as my sidetrack.
You told me your girlfriend was made of vinyl.
No, that's my wife.
Perhaps you might want to explain the significance of the 12th of July for people like me who are sort of a bit ignorant about it, and most of them probably watch.
Oh, this is the parade, the parade time, you know, when all the loyalists get really hyped up.
Okay.
And for the benefit of anyone that is still watching or hasn't flagged us yet, the Q&A is open.
I think the first question is, what the fuck was Aidan doing?
I have no idea.
It's the parade. It's the parade time up north when all the drum bangers get fucking going.
Yeah. In other words, to make it simple, Northern Ireland has creationists marching round with orange
Dresses,
aprons on.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And your girlfriend wanted to go there then.
Yeah.
And say things like "top of the morning" to you.
Exactly. It's just hilarious.
She going on her own then?
Oh fuck yeah, she is. It's a quick and simple divorce, isn't it?
Well, quick death.
I suppose painless, at least for you.
Exactly.
Isn't the joke, isn't it, with a guy walking through? I can't remember. Someone grabs him, puts a knife up to his throat, and said, "Are you a Protestant or a Catholic?" And he's trying to think quickly on his feet, and he said, "I'm a Muslim." And the voice behind him says, "Well, would you Which I can't even say it.
No, doesn't he say I'm Jewish?
No, he says, well, wouldn't you know it? I'm the luckiest Jew in Belfast. Something like that. Oh, yeah, he says he's Jewish. Yeah. I'm the luckiest Muslim in Belfast, or whatever.
Luckiest Palestinian. Yeah. Anyway, back to Nate after that, because that was quite fun. But we haven't said enough bad things about Nate yet.
Well, is basically a creatard. That's out in the open.
Yeah, I like the way he's redefined global flood. I thought that was particularly good. A lot of water in a lot of places. Like he hasn't seen that 2/3 of the Earth's surface is covered by sea.
Isn't that a fucking classic?
And 8 people saved quite a lot of animals.
Well, the thing is that sort of conjunction or clause is in a sentence is Nate all over in it. It's like, yeah, well, 8 people, yeah, big boat, lots of water all over, lots of different places, yeah, kind of happens, yeah, sort of see that, yeah. Oh,
sounds like a Mediterranean
But if you disagree, I agree with that, and probably if you confronted me, I'd deny it all or just change it so that because I wouldn't want to upset you or anyone else. Not that I mean you personally, of course, because I don't. And what I actually meant was something completely different. But I'll repeat it later on, several times, and then.
And if that's all right with you, Roy.
Yeah.
Why anybody watches his videos apart from to laugh at the unfortunate? I mean, it's beyond
Agreed.
me.
Well, to be honest, when someone like Roy Montero says he'll be your producer and he's going to make you famous, you know you're fucked.
Yeah,
in the beginning, you're fucked.
Yeah. Famous, Nate? Yes or no?
Oh, now then, here's the thing. Actually, Roy has actually got a little bit of merit. I actually used Roy's argument today to prove a point.
What was the point? That creationists can't make arguments?
No. Not Roy's exact point, but it's Roy's method. Right? I was showing somebody how to do something, and they were at work training somebody.
Masturbate.
Using some tooling, and they were being really stubborn. Didn't want to do it right. They wanted to do it their way, and so I basically says, look, I'm not here to debate this with you. I'm here to show you. I'm here to put the information on the table. You can either accept it or reject it.
You did.
I'm giving you the truth. I was pissing myself as I was doing it. I was like, fucking hell.
You should remember that you can either confess it or suppress it.
Did it work? Did it work, Wayne?
He sawed his hand off later.
No, he just went. He just says, "I'm not fanning about like that." I says, "We'll just get fucked then."
Wayne's got a good rapport with his colleagues.
I mean, actually, that's almost like best buddies up north, though, isn't it? To be fair.
It is.
Yeah.
Well. Any more Nate
So,
gems?
good old Roy.
As I mentioned, obviously, Nate's video where he said that he was putting it to rest. So he said, right, it's done now. And then he carried on talking about it for another hour and a half. Was where he said that if you went into a Christian hangout and Christians said things like flip or damn, that would be the exception to the rule. But if you went into an atheist hangout and they were talking about their charity and how much they donated to Doctors Without Borders, that would be the exception to the rule as well. Not that he's generalising.
Is it immoral to wish?
Never.
Is it immoral to wish someone goes to hell? Do you think you went to hell?
You're breaking up, Sam.
I think he said, is it immoral to wish that somebody goes to hell? Was that the question?
Yeah, indeed.
Not in their poxy world. Well, they're not supposed to wish somebody there. They're supposed to warn somebody, aren't they? That's the thing.
Okay. You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah, but
I think we can play the same game back.
Is sinful by their own thing. I do believe. Somebody may want to correct me on that.
I'll just white box you, Wayne, because I noticed I'm trying to look at your sign at the back there.
Yeah, because when the Nate thing is declared over, then my sign applies. Not the piss flaps, though.
Post Nate depression.
Post Nate depression.
And I'd say Nate's arguments are probably about as intelligent as a post.
Wow.
I mean, I've often thought that the reason he wears that stupid cap all the time is to hide the scar from when his brain was removed. But this sort of really proved it. I mean, it was such a dumb, ridiculous thing to say. He was doing it from a bar, wasn't he, the original video? I am pretty convinced he was drunk. Because I don't think a sober person would have said anything quite that ridiculous. Unless you're G-Man.
Oh no, he's a special class of G-Man for sure.
Well, going
is.
Going on that video, talking of hats, if his brains were dynamite, he wouldn't have enough to blow that hat off.
Oh dear.
I mean, at one time I thought he was a fence sitter, much like Mouty.
Yeah. I once thought he was. I mean, I've always found him a bit sort of smug, shall we say?
What Mouty or Nate?
No, Nate.
Definitely, definitely what I got off Nate. Our good friend.
Yeah.
Nate.
But I thought he was relatively harmless, and it's always interesting to hear the opinions of moderates, even if I don't agree with them, and even if I think they are part of the problem.
Surely you're not talking about Smuggy McSmug off Smug Lane, East Smuggington, are you?
I think, somewhere around that area, somewhere in that vicinity.
From the United States of Smug.
But yes,
Smugsville, United States.
I've completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that. But no, I think it was interesting how his real beliefs came forward in the past few days. He's gone from being a what we would class as a moderate to being somewhat of a fundy, from his own doing. From his own rant.
To be fair, though, the thing is, right, it is the thing. Has he said anything? How do we define fundy? Because there's a difference between a fundy, for me, and a creatard, right? You can be a creatard without being an evil fundy.
I think the thing is, if you believe in stuff which are provably untrue because of their religious, like for example a global flood, we know that there is no such thing there is no evidence for a global flood. Put it that way.
And evidence against.
Well, there is plenty of evidence against. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. No.
Yeah. So to believe it, you're doing it in spite of the science, and that for me is the difference between a moderate and a fundy. Is that you're going to say that what we know to be true is less important than what's written in my silly book.
Yeah. You see, the thing is that with fundy, I put different baggage on fundy, like most people do. Fundy, you've got like the homophobia, you've got the anti-abortion stuff, you've got the hell, the obsession with hell. Nate doesn't demonstrate those things, I don't believe. So
no,
yeah,
I suppose it's like there's nuances to all of it, and it's a gradient rather than an absolute. So I think he's certainly got fundy. Well, he's obviously got fundy tendencies, which I perhaps didn't think of before. Didn't think he had before. If you believe something like these 8 men on a boat who save lots of animals, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of water.
Yeah,
in a lot of
you can't really be taken seriously anymore. Not in a real life type environment. Okay, you can go to your little church and you can talk to other believers, and that's fine. But nobody with any type of scientific education or any type of scientific knowledge can take you seriously. And I think that for me is what tips you over the border into fundyism.
Well, it's like take Fiona for instance. We've clashed with Fiona, right? But and we all go against talk about Catholic stuff and that. But however, she doesn't deny the science.
No, that's the difference.
Losoyo doesn't deny the science.
Again, yeah.
Right, and right, look at the slack that Andy Jack was given when he touched atheism briefly, and then he went back to moderate Christian, and everybody said, right, that's enough. We can live with that. We can talk to this person now. What's happened lately? He's met Dodgy Dunderhead.
Is that the ghost guy?
Deep Dark Hole Dave, yeah. And now Andy Jack's just touched, just generally.
Yeah, it's gone absolute full on. creator.
Because you had nearly convinced me about Andy Jack. You'd nearly convinced me that he was worth talking to and worth being taken seriously. Because the first video I ever saw of him was him kicking footballs at pictures of Alex Bottom's face.
Yeah, and throughout that, I would message him saying, like, dude, come on, you're better than that.
We have a message from friend of the show, Super Joker, who said, yeah, guys, I'm wanking so hard right now, my pee-pee is turning a funny colour.
Yeah, well, he does that every night. I mean, there's nothing new there.
Piss flaps!
And Annabelle sent a message, said she hasn't been invited because we probably think she's too emotional, but she suspects it's going to be very funny. We are planning to invite you later on, Annabelle. We've done our usual.
As long as you promise not to be emotional at all.
Yeah, we'll be doing.
You have to be almost sociopathic with your emotions. That would be perfect.
Yeah, we'll be touching on royalty later.
Oh yes.
Have you noticed?
Absolutely.
Have you noticed the similarity between J.D. Kane and Nate at all?
Oh.
Have you noticed Nate's growing a beard a little bit, like to become? Yeah, isn't he getting a beard?
I can't cope with people I know of on G Plus looking the same. That can't. I mean, it's bad enough with Greco and JD Kane. But then we've got the Nate too. I mean, they'll all be like it.
What about me? What about me looking like Alex Bottom?
Well, no, you don't look like Alex Bottom.
There is a photo that was taken at Alex's house with Alex's hat on, where I look like him.
Okay, but haven't you noticed that one amongst our community is beginning to look more and more like Alex Bottom every day? That bass player, Christopher Mouty?
Yeah.
Isn't he just becoming...
Not that bed-sitting, wishy-washy, hugger funny.
I did hear Matt Bell gave Christopher Mouty a good pasting on a hangout the other night, saying he's something about him being on the fence for, that he's been sat on the fence for that long. He's got splinters up his arse the size of baseball bats.
Didn't Christopher Mouty leave G Plus?
Probably in disgrace.
And a smile on his face.
As Jason pointed out, he is a disgrace and a discredited atheist.
A disgusting disgrace, the biggest, disgustingest disgrace to atheism in the history of atheism.
Yeah.
I question the scholarly, academic, scholarly.
Chicken bro.
I expect Mouty ran away with his legs between his tail. Probably.
I expect
Jason's hard.
Ah, dear.
Anyway, it's all in jest, this, because he's begged us to do this. I'm going to be getting in touch with Chris soon. I've had a fantastic idea for him for a bass.
Stay away.
A bass song. I've found a perfect funk song for him to cover.
Don't fucking come back. Is that what it's called?
I'm going to keep that to myself until I've sorted it out with Chris.
Good old Motty.
So we've got to the subject of people who look the same on G+. We're obviously aiming for the highbrow.
Yeah.
Well, not only that. Mouty even had his hair cut to try and look like me. How bad is that?
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's sick,
yeah, he's a Britophile.
That's sheer jealousy.
Yeah. It's because he's disgraced. Cheers, Chris.
Hang on, there's another lookalike as well. Simon is Mick Jagger.
Yes. Someone said that the other day.
You say that, but don't you think Xbox at certain times? Let me.
I bet you can't do Xbox's voice.
No. The Xbox or what?
No.
No, all right.
No, come on. Just stick to what you know and just go. Hey, Keith.
Yeah, good.
Keith. All right. You get me some more drugs.
Fucking hell.
It is. That's your name from now on. I'm not calling you Simon anymore. I'm just going to call you Jagger.
Alright, mate. Fuck!
And he lives on the fucking road as well.
Anti-natalist. Oh dear.
Brilliant. No one's putting it. No
Oh yeah.
Oh, by the
The
now
old
then.
G-Man calling his experience. Now, the first caller on was called William, but I swear I recognised it as McKay.
It was McKay, yeah. Because I heard them
It
talking
was,
about afterwards that Green Man and McKay and a couple of others got together. Their intention was to flood the atheist experience with their own calls. So McKay put on a voice changer, from what I can gather, and she called herself William and rang in with trying to big G-Man up and bait Matt Dillahunty about G-Man, ready for him.
Yes. Because he
I
was
don't
asked,
know
wasn't he? Matt was asked, why don't you debate G-Man in a call just before G-Man came on?
Yeah, that was McKay, and she's quite young. I think she's late teens, early 20s, something like that, theist. But considering they're not supposed to lie...
Yeah.
Isn't she
both of them gave false names.
Yeah. I mean, G-Man couldn't think of anything better than Lamont.
This always confused me when I was a Catholic. You know, this always confused me. Just, you're not supposed to lie, but you do it anyway, and then you fucking feel guilty about it, and you have to go and tell the priest, who then fucking takes you as an oath boy and fucks your mouth.
Yeah, he then lies to you. Yeah, he then lies to you saying, no, this won't taste bad at all.
This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you. Actually, it won't.
Oh dear.
And then the priest has to do penance for throat fucking.
Imagine what the bishop does to him.
My favourite priest there. Come downstairs into the dungeon. I've got a little something for you.
You might feel a small prick.
How many choir boy blowjobs does it take to rim a bishop?
I think at this point, if Nate is watching, he's probably passed out.
We're so immoral.
So what happens?
We're so immoral. We can't comment about anything bad that happens in the world because we're so immoral. Because we say bad words.
So what penance will Cardinal Pell have to do then? Will that be an incense burner up the arse?
Possibly, or perhaps an hour on Meeting of the Minds.
Oh no!
Just an hour.
Yeah. Mort just orgasmed, by the way.
Le Mort.
We had 17 viewers a minute ago. We're going to have the 16 now.
Oh, happy days.
Chris has turned off.
That's Nate. That's Nate.
That's Nate passed out in a masturbatory coma.
You can't take this immorality any longer.
He can only keep going as long as we keep swearing. He's all right then.
Pig's nipples.
Pig's nipples. Is that the best you can think of?
It's out of his.
It's come to that with Wayne. The most erotic thing you can think of these days are pig nipples.
Nipples.
Chris Martin just messaged me. He says, "Meeting of the Minds was fascinating to me."
It's a shame it wasn't to any other fucker. Never mind. Love you, really, Chris.
Now we're down to 15. That was the Mouty effect.
Yeah, so that's Nate and Chris are both switched off.
Yeah, Nate's gone to look at his Noah book. The one that Ricky Gervais reads out. He's wearing rouge!
Yeah, as the one who says God's not gay, but he said, "Oh, I'm so upset with men. I'm so angry with men."
Yeah.
And then he gives them a rainbow of his sign of friendship with men forever.
He's wearing a blouse and rouge.
Oh dear. They said that's what they said to God. Could you really kill a man? And God said, "Oh, eventually."
Chris says.
That's Greco. That's Super Joker switched off.
Chris Marty says, "You're making my shit hang, Wayne." Glad to be of service.
That's going to be the title of the next episode.
Shit hanger special.
Shit hangs.
Yeah. God, we're so immoral.
Well, calm down. I gave to charity today.
I've got to calm down.
Then I told them to fuck off with the money. And I did some knitting and I helped an old lady across the road.
Hang on, stop, back up a bit. You did some knitting?
Yeah.
Is that your new thing?
No, just in case Nate's watching, because I'm thinking of something nice and Christian.
Oh, I see.
So,
that you've done.
Yeah.
That's good. That's fair enough.
Embroidered.
And so what else did you do?
Soft toys.
Did you say
Fluffy rabbits, mittens.
Puppies. Don't forget puppies.
Puppies.
Cunt, fucking cunt.
I went to one of those Christian shops and bought a CD, which is just 4 hours of children's laughter.
I blinded a dog so that the
also known as pop music.
Worthwhile.
Say again, Aiden.
You wanked on a dog?
I blinded the dog so
blinded the dog?
Yeah, so the refuge could feel worthful, you know.
Do you know what's happening right now, don't you? Nate's running round that room he's in, like
Jason's box room.
Nate's running round the room in his cap and his underpants saying, I was right, the bastards, the bastards.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm told that Nate is live right now in another Nate Gate video.
Oh, is he?
But despite being done with it in his last two videos, yeah.
He doesn't know when to give up, does he? I mean,
well, that's good news for Wayne, because I'm worried about what he's gonna do tonight after the hangout goes, after he gets rid of Nate.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've been asked to
be less worried about what Wayne's going to do than what I'm going to do.
I've been asked to say a special message, and it's basically
to Wayne, or
just generally one person. It's a request that was sent in. It's fuck moderate Christians, fuck the Chinese, and fuck Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
I would.
And that's a busy weekend, if ever there was one.
Yeah. Wayne Wood. There you go. That's the one. Is that the guy that used to be Bruce Jenner, the Olympiad, or whatever he was?
Because
he had a sex
you know what they say? Just push that schlepper aside and get on with it.
Yep. Yeah. He's better looking than his ex-wife. She must be gutted.
Better looking than his ex-wife.
Or his wife. He is. She, rather. Saw a photograph.
So what you're basically saying is you do her.
Well, I might do.
Oh, well, that's got to be a good sort of review of your sex change, I suppose.
Well, I'm presuming that the actor formerly known as Bruce has had all the relevant,
reconstructive surgery.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, had the meat and two veg off, and
so the twig and berries are gone.
I'm presuming that so. Maybe he's got quite nice breasts.
That don't mean out.
I've got quite nice breasts, but that's to do with the 15 pints of lager I drink every night.
and the virgin's blood.
And the virgin, especially the virgin's blood.
Christian virgin blood.
I use that to keep my skin supple.
Another message I've had.
It works for me all the time.
The question for us is who, Bionic Dance or Caitlyn Jenner?
Tough. Philosophically speaking, you mean?
Oh, I hope so.
Biblically.
I hope so.
I still think Bionic Dance, if I had to choose.
I'm gonna make a confession here, and it's gonna absolutely destroy me. I actually find her quite cute.
Bionic Dance, really?
Bionic Dance. Yeah. But have you seen those photographs?
That's why.
Right.
So Wayne fantasizes of making love to a woman coloured in various paint.
He was wanking like crazy over Avatar.
That's not a bad film though. To wank.
No. The style is more like Wicked Witch of the West. She did it for me.
The Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh my, yeah.
What you want to shag the Wicked Witch of the West? The green one.
Why not?
Well, I can think of many reasons, but she is the Wicked Witch of the Red West.
Well, you know what they say, that the dirty girls are the bad ones are the best.
They say the bad ones are the best, but not the evil, genocidal ones.
Yeah. Mind you, there's no other females in the Wizard of Oz.
There's what's her name? Dorothy, the one that clicks.
I knew you were going to mention the kid, you pervert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Jim, you're criticising me for saying I'd shag the Wicked Witch of the West, and you want the young one.
Yeah.
That's not quite what I said.
There's no place like home, especially Jim's home.
Especially, there's no place like my place.
There's no place like.
The chances are you'll never leave.
There's no place like a dungeon in Sweden.
So at the end of Jim's path on the gate, there's a sign that says Hotel California.
Oh, the morality.
Right. Anyway, so we'll come back and start Nate some more.
I'm sure we can get back to Nate later on. We've probably done Nate for the next 10 minutes or so.
He's obviously having his own hangout, not wanking himself into a Tourette's stupid. Mind you, that's probably why his hands. That's probably why Nate's hands are like that. It's probably either
either that or he's deformed.
Arthritis or repetitive strain. I reckon why his hands are like that, or it's not jazz hands, it's jizz hands. That's why they're like that. Because anyway.
No, I don't reckon he can fucking use two hands at any time. Just one.
I was going to talk about the. So go on.
And I don't reckon he has too much motor function to go along with it.
Deep, man. Deep.
It was good. I like that. I was trying to find a way of fitting the word Nate into the word neuro, but I couldn't.
The word what?
Yeah, well, motor neuron, he said. Is that what Hayden said?
Yeah.
I couldn't fit the word Nate into neuron.
No, probably it doesn't go.
No, probably, yeah. Probably. I mean, so we'll come back to Nate a bit later.
I'm sure the topic will naturally arise.
Oh, God. And look, Cliff isn't here, so Simon's taking over.
Thank you. I do get on with Cliff very well. I don't know why.
I did send Cliff the link, but he probably doesn't want to be hated as much.
Yeah, we all love Cliff, and there's always the danger that
I think it's just because with the lead the sinking ship.
We won't want him to become hated.
It could be well that.
Yeah, after one episode, Cliff realised it was shit, and he's not going.
Lovely.
We've got 20 viewers. That's more than we had last week.
For us.
That's a record. Hey.
That's because they heard we would stop talking about Nate.
Yeah, probably.
That's what it is. Yeah.
What were they singing? God, I wish they stopped talking about that cunt.
Okay.
So, in the hat.
Forward, gentlemen. Forward.
Oh, it's only
banter.
We love you, really, Nate. We still think you're a twat, but we do love you.
No, I don't. I think he's a twat, and I don't like him.
It'll blow over one day.
Yeah, when you die.
It'll blow over one day. I like that. That's very good.
When he gets to the pearly gates and St. Peter says, "Fuck off, you spat twat." Yeah, you thought you were coming in, didn't you? But you're not.
When Nate finally discovers the ocean and thinks the flood's on its way.
Yeah. Or St. Peter just says, "What do you mean, lots of water? Come on."
Lots of water, lots of places.
Yeah. That's his catchphrase. It's like some sort of 1940s comedian comes onto the Raw Variety performance. Lots of water. Lots of places.
Dear, oh dear.
Bit like, where's my washboard?
I'm not saying I believe in a literal hell, fire, burning, torture, but all I believe is, like I said on numerous occasions, that if you don't believe in Jesus and do what he love people, love Jesus. Then if you don't do that, then you're going to go to a really sucky place. A place that's going to really suck.
That's probably how we define hell. Lots of fire in lots of places.
We have the meme. We have the meme. The meme.
By the way, that wasn't made up.
I
He
know.
described hell as a place, as a really sucky place that you'll go.
Lots of sucky, lots of places.
Oh,
I went to a really sucky place once.
It worked for me as well.
Aidan, for some strange reason, Aidan sounded like Stephen Hawking then when he said that. It was like two-tone in between the laugh. It was funny. Very good. Really sucky place. Fantastic.
I am laughing so much.
I didn't know this.
The way you did it as well, with the jizz hands. Yeah, they're like a dead doll's hands that are actually.
Well, you know what? There's that thing. You know what do they call it when you sit on your hand, and then you masturbate, and it feels like somebody else is supposed to do it. He's obviously been sitting on both of his hands too much, because he can't move them.
Well, no, it's not. No, I don't think it's that. You see, have you ever been doing any work outside, like you've got any grease or engine oil?
No, I let the surf do that.
On your hand.
The only work outside, Wayne, the only work outside I do is digging the graves.
Work with it, right? And then you come inside and you've got to open the door, and your hands are in there, so you have to start using your elbow to open the door and things like that. Well, if what we're saying, if you call them these jizz hands, then the reason why they're like, like doctors, that surgeons do when they operate the taps with their elbows. Yeah. Well, so if his hands are covered in jizz, that means he's holding them like that so he don't get the keyboard covered in man fat.
Fat.
But like when every little sperm is sacred.
Let the heathen spill theirs on the dusty ground. God will make them pay for each sperm that can't be found.
Lots of sperm, lots of places.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm a bit disappointed no one's sent us any questions on the Q&A, but yes, Annabelle, we are going to
too disgusted.
We're down to 19 now.
We are going to send the link out to you, Annabelle, when we've done the first hour. That's when the general link goes out. So I'll
right, do we need to move forward?
We need to move forward onto Wayne's. Why
mine?
Why?
Mine.
Don't lie.
It's
why America is rubbish. That's a hospital pass if there's ever been one.
Let's rephrase that slightly. Why America is really jumping the shark of late?
Yeah.
It
was that video, wasn't it? That story. That was that story we saw about the legalized robbery one.
Oh my good lord! I've never been so I don't think I've ever been so disgusted in my life.
Well, okay, give us the background because I don't think I've seen this one.
Right, here we go. I'll try and remember it as best I can. A woman. Well, you know how you got legalized marijuana in certain states, but it's not legal. It's not legal federally, I don't believe.
And it's also legal for medicinal purposes, isn't it?
Yeah. So this woman, I think it was in Michigan, she's got a license to possess and dispense medicinal marijuana, which she has been doing.
And she's got MS, hasn't she?
Yeah. But the feds decided they were going to raid her. They didn't only raid her for the drugs, they packed up and carted off every material possession owned by her and her family, with no guarantee of getting it back. Now, I might be paraphrasing this next bit now. She had a hearing in court, and I could be wrong, so anybody feel free to correct me who's watching.
Yeah, she had the charges thrown out, didn't she?
Yes, but apparently the judge said something like if you don't play ball or something.
It was the prosecutor. The prosecutor said, "We might not be able to get you on these charges, but we'll get you through the."
And then civil proceeding, and you'll never get your stuff back.
And they've had our stuff for 10 months. Every stick of furniture, everything.
Even a vibrator. And I'm not being flippant here, but why did they need that?
You've ruined a serious piece now. Nate is just.
I know. I can't get past the word vibrator.
But, I mean, what? Thank Christ we haven't got that law over here.
Well,
it does sound almost unbelievable.
Yes, but it's true.
Well, thank God we don't live in America.
Yeah, and the thing is, I have upset a lot of people over these last few months by pouring on what could be described as flippant, dismissive messages about the USA, saying, fuck the USA, you deserve to fail. Because of these little civil liberties infringements and the things that's been going on, like with the police and all this lot. But that one, I think it's proved me right. I think it's... Right. I don't want to go all Republican, but...
Uh-oh.
And they criticise Obama, right? And they never stop criticising him. But I want to criticise the man. Because although he's hamstrung by Congress, right, there is nothing in American politics that stops him having one of these fireside chats or addresses in front of the lectern, as presidents are wont to do, and just say, look, to the police forces nationwide, say, look, you're not making a very good show of yourself. You need to start treating people with a bit more decency. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and the fact that the man is not doing that, and I mean, I class that as presidential privilege. The fact that even though he's hamstrung by Congress, there's no to stop him using his position to make moral pronouncements like that.
But it's whether they would listen. I mean, there was recently I read a thing about him banning the sale of military-type weaponry to the police forces. And apparently up until then it was legal for them to own all sorts of weapons that you would never need for normal sort of crowd control. Normal sort of civilian use. They have all this sort of high-power weaponry and armed drones and stuff. What do the police need all that for?
Well, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I think to an extent, he is doing that, and I'm not going to go overly pro-Obama either, but I do think he is hamstrung probably more than we think. And whether they would listen to him, whether they give a fuck.
Yeah, but the thing is that...
I mean, most of these, the problems are caused by... no, I'm not going to say that. That's probably not fair.
I would like to interject and just
Please
mention that America is more an oligarchy than it is a democracy these days. It's controlled by the powers that be.
Yeah.
Money buys justice.
Yeah, but the point.
There's loads of good-intentioned people there and all the rest of it, but however, the oligarchy rules. This is not a big conspiracy shit, but it just is a fact.
I'd like to address that.
Yeah.
Regardless of how the power forces behind the scenes are, that man is not seeking re-election, and he's already said this jokingly in speeches. Yeah, I can do what I want. I'm not seeking re-election.
Well, he can't anyway. He's had 2 terms, hasn't he? So.
That's what I'm saying. That's his point, and he said it quite snarkily. So, hang on. So for me, I'd be using that time to speak to the people. Use what power he has left.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection on his lack of character that he's not doing that. And so I actually will agree with some of the Republicans, right? When you see the memes, the anti-Obama memes, when they're actually saying he's a traitor to his country. He's a traitor to the people if he cannot do. I mean, we joke about morality. If he can't do moral things like see injustice done by authorities in his own country.
And also, you'd think, I mean, when is there ever going to be probably another black president? Do you think he would also take advantage of that fact and perhaps do a bit more to improve the lot of black Americans? Especially in light of the amount that the police seem to be killing at the moment.
Yeah, just to address Wayne, what you just said, I quite agree with what you said. He should just not give a fuck and say, I'm going to veto everything and say, this is my legacy. But it's not. Yeah,
but on the other hand, there must be mechanisms.
Sorry, just one tiny little remark to that. Like, it's money that got him there in the first place, though, when he's a paid president, just like all they are. And this isn't going into the conspiracy fucking bullshit or anything. It's just a plain fact.
Yeah, but he doesn't need the money anymore. Because it's like Tony Blair. Tony Blair had his pick of
7.62 between the fucking eyes will shut you up very quickly.
And there was a big difference between Tony Blair and Barack Obama and any American president, is that most American presidents are millionaires before they become presidents, whereas I don't think Tony Blair was particularly affluent until
Well, you've made me point for me then. That he's got nothing stopping him.
The Americans. Sorry, Wayne, you just.
Sorry, Simon.
Ah, right. Okay, I didn't make you'd frozen on my screen. Yeah, I think just to bring it back to Nate. I mean, there's a lot of Americans and a lot of places. And I think that's the problem.
And a lot of them are quite sucky. Yeah, America's become a real sucky place.
Brilliant.
Oh dear, we can't help ourselves, can we? Can't be serious for a moment.
But yeah,
but in some ways it's quite good that, for example, Bush didn't leave his legacy when he was, leaving power. Because otherwise, I suppose most Americans would have inherited a free rattle or something.
Well, I never understood how the man. I mean, for me, and I think a lot of my friends as well, I just found it astounding that somebody so blatantly thick could become the most powerful man or one of the most powerful men on the planet with George Bush. But
apparently he wasn't.
He is a moron.
Apparently he wasn't thick though.
Well, he always came across that way.
I've heard this, that he puts it on, or had put it on. I mean, I find it very difficult to think that he was not thick, but yeah, apparently he was.
Why would you want to? I know what I'll do when I become the most powerful man in the Western world. I'll pretend I'm stupid.
Well, there's this idea that Americans don't vote for people they think are smarter than them. They vote for people they can go to the pub with. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it certainly seems that way to an extent.
Perhaps that's what Nate was angling at with the video in the pub then.
Well, I don't think it's.
Maybe he's running for president. There'll be a lot of votes in a lot of places.
I don't think it's so much that somebody they want to go to the pub with. It's somebody who's likely to be walking outside the church with them on Sunday.
Can you imagine Nate as president behind the podium? And my policies are I'm going to do lots of things for lots of places, especially the sucky places because they really need it.
The sucky places suck so much that I can't get any suction anymore.
We're going to go to war with Russia, or we're not. If they can remain, then we won't. And I'm going to have a hangout with Putin a bit later. And
tax rebate for twat caps.
And yeah, I'm going to go back on what I said, and then I'm going to double down in it when Putin's not around. That will work. Can you imagine some of the fundies as president? G-Man, for instance.
We're not too far from that, though, are we?
No.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's what's really quite scary. Look at people like, what's his name, Santorum. Yeah.
It's got is that an anagram of sanatorium?
That man, Rick Santorum, you watch his body language. He exhibits more butt hurt than Jason Burns.
Is that physically possible?
Yes. Watch Rick Santorum speak.
Has he got lots of butt hurt in lots of places?
Yes. He looks like he's perpetually on the brink of tears.
I don't know too many other politicians. I mean, who's going to run for the other side?
Democrats. Isn't Hillary Clinton going to run for them?
Yeah, Bernie Clifton.
Bernie Eccleston.
Bernie Clifton, what, with his ostrich?
Yeah.
Bernie Clifton.
I don't know. They have to vote it, don't they? I'm not sure exactly. Fucking American politics.
Keith Harrison Orville.
It seems American politics to me seems really strange because they have a huge, complicated process, and then they just vote the biggest twat in.
Yeah, all those comes down to city and sweep. Yeah, that'd be.
Well, here's the most disturbing thing I find is not the fundies on the Republican side, is Hillary. Because we always talk about Democrats being like the most secular and all this lot. I'm going to speak a little bit now, something which may sound a bit conspiracy theory, but it absolutely is not.
Uh-oh.
Right. There is an organisation in America called the Family. They used to be called the Fellowship, I believe. Started by a Norwegian immigrant to the United States in the 1930s by the name of a chap called Abraham Vareide.
You got to be careful with those Norwegians.
And he was basically like a born-again dude. And he had a hatred of unions. He'd got this weird ideology that unions went against God because it was rebelling against the legitimate masters. So he got involved with all big business on the West Coast. I think he was based in Seattle. All the strike breakers and that, he was heavily involved in like the brutality against strikers. Like, he organised it in league with big business. This is all true, by the way. There's no hint of conspiracy theory about this. This is fact. It's all in the record. Him and his representatives moved into what they call secret diplomacy on behalf of American presidents. So the dictatorships throughout the Cold War that America was propping up, like Indonesia, Nicaragua, things like that. All the deals were done by representatives of this organisation, rather than accredited diplomats. For quite weird reasons, the government wanted these countries on board as a bulwark against communism, whereas what these organisations were doing while they were going into these dictatorships, and they were actually trying to convince the dictators to accept Jesus, regardless of whether they were Muslims, such as Suharto and that, or Muslims and all this lot. It was a very weird setup, and the chap who took over is a chap called Douglas Coe. He took over from Vareide a long time ago, and he's still in charge.
Sebastian Coe's mate.
Yeah. And the thing is, Hillary Clinton is tits deep with him. And that's what disturbs me about Hillary, because you've got fundies on the.
If he was arse deep in her, I'd believe you win, but it's just it's a bridge too far for me.
You can see the YouTube videos of well, do you know what?
Must be right then.
You can see the YouTube videos where they're together, where she's endorsing his speeches and things like that. Well, let me just to give air legitimacy. Do you know what they're most famous for? This organisation.
Right.
You know these national prayer breakfasts that they have.
Oh God, it's not them, is it?
Where all these heads of state come and have bagels or croissants or whatever it is, and coffee and that, and then they'll go and make backroom deals, right? Because it's all the prayer breakfast just that's like, yeah, we'll get that bit out of the way. Then it is organised by this family stroke fellowship. Doug Coe's behind those meetings.
Blimey. There's one other question from Rizzler. Nate or Von for president?
Oh, well, got to be Von, because at
Von
least
Hilton.
then we might see space marines in our lifetimes, and that would got to be a good thing. I want aliens. I want aliens to be true.
Well, at least all the military would be trained ninjas, and he would probably design all the aircraft.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Colonial Marines for the win.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of space out there.
President Von Helton. That's got quite a ring to it, hasn't it?
I'm going to go for Nate, though. Because I had a bet with somebody that they said that there would never be a more stupid president than George W. Bush.
One that's more sucky.
Yeah, I think I might be on for a winner there. So I'm going to go Nate.
Lucia has said, Nate seems to me to be a person who irons his socks. He's a fastidious cunt who can suck it. So
ironing socks, that does sound a bit like a euphemism, doesn't it?
That sounded a heck of a lot like toilet graffiti reads.
Yeah, so obviously Lucia is on the fence in relation to Nate.
But he used a bad word, so he's highly, highly, highly immoral.
And Hillbilly asks, can we get a big you big dummy for Lamont? You big dummy.
I think we've already got one, haven't we?
When did Lamont say this?
No, you big dummy is an American program. Some bloke says you big dummy all the time, I think. Hillbilly Jim has put a few videos out about it.
Right, I've not seen it.
I'm not. Yeah.
Sorry, I won't want to do the wrong.
Have we got any other anti-American things to say, just to upset Blue, for no other reason to upset Blue?
Yeah, but Blue is on board with some of it, because he actually says that the police are bad, but he says that in LA Confidential, those coppers in that, he says that's like what coppers used to be like. He says they were worse than they are now, but he actually granted the point that but in those days they weren't federally mandated nicking of people's entire possessions.
Well, Blue voted for Nate as president, and Rizzler said the world would be over within a week if Von Helton got in. It would be if Raw was president. He'd push the button in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is, at least if Von Helton...
I mean, the button would be safe from Nate, because there'd be lots of buttons in lots of places, and he wouldn't know which one to push.
Yeah. Especially if he thought they were all a bit sucky.
And you couldn't push anything with them hands. He just reminds me of someone that's broken.
Strings from the strings. You'd have to have levers instead of buttons.
I reckon at some point Nate's had both his hands amputated, and someone has grafted on two from Jerry Anderson's spare shed.
No, now they're just marigold rubber gloves stuffed with newspaper.
Thunderbird hands.
Doll's hands.
Doll's hands, yeah. Dead doll's hands.
But anyway, back to answer Rizzler's point about or was it you, Mark, that said that if Von Helton was president, the world...
Yeah, no, it was Rizzler. The world would end be over in a week if Von Helton got in as president.
But wouldn't that week be full of lols?
Oh. Oh.
Well, he'd be all right. He wouldn't mind dying, because he's already died 3 times and come back to fucking life.
It'd be America invaded where? They already fucking own Hawaii.
Oh God! Oh no, we're all dying and we're all starving. But fucking hell, that was funny what he said.
Well, Nate would be boring, really, wouldn't it? It'd be, where are you thinking of invading, Mr. President? Well, lots of places, you know. All over, really.
Somewhere immoral.
Where are our troops stationed? Well, we've got lots of troops in lots of places.
Nate would be vice president and mostly on his knees, so he wouldn't be able to speak.
Oh dear. All the American military, their uniforms would be flat caps. And funny glasses.
The standard military look would be flat cap and stupid grin.
Stupid grin. I am going to defeat you with my stupid grin.
No.
You wouldn't salute. You just purse your lips in a smug way.
No, I
Thank
mean,
you,
in all
darling.
seriousness, in all seriousness, though, Nate is, I mean, he is a lovely bloke for a cunt, right?
Anything else in the week? So you've seen the G-Man on the streets of New York was quite funny.
Yeah, that was about the most exciting thing he did this week, wasn't it?
He picked on one bloke that said I need cash for weed with a clown's wig on, and he's the bloke that he picked on to say. And because the guy said in his stone stupor, yes, I think atheism is a religion. G-Man, that was 100% absolute evidence for G-Man. That's all he needed.
I saw he got nominated for Lying Cocksucker of the Week for something that he did the week before. That was quite funny.
Yeah, which wasn't a lie.
Yeah, he stated an opinion a week before.
Not that everyone's got it in for him or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not fixated by G-Man.
Lots of G-Mans in lots of places.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear.
But the thing is about the G-Man video is Mr. Ken Jones, when he was stood at the side of the naked guitarist looking at his package, looking down often at his package. Well, he finished playing and singing "Amazing Grace," the guitarist, and then Mr. Ken Jones said, "Yeah, and that song was written by a man who saw the grace of God while taking slaves." Right, and I commented on that on Google Plus, and put like, yeah, that's quite interesting. That's quite telling that.
Taking slaves in lots of places.
And then Mr. Ken Jones replied, he replied, it was while taken in slavery. And I replied to him, well, you need to be more clear in your speech, and my apologies. Right? Hang on. But then several people came in with the facts and said, well, actually, no, the guy who wrote Amazing Grace was a slaver.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Now, we've been going for our first hour. I'm just going to ping the link out to a couple of people that have asked for it. So.
Yeah, we've got 18 people watching at the moment. So you know what that means, don't you, guys? That means we've got a lot of viewers in a lot of places.
And they all suck.
And that
the place is not the viewers, of course.
Oh, I'm happy to say also our friend Lucy Dupree seems to be back and around.
Bless him.
So the creationists didn't murder him then?
No, apparently not. He's back. So
I was worried.
Hey,
you guys, how you doing?
I feel humbled.
It's the Nate lookalike.
That's just mean.
yeah, no, sorry about my comment.
Have you got a flat cap?
If you could put a cap on JD and say lots of really stupid things, we'd all appreciate it.
Yeah. A dishcloth, an ashtray, anything that'll do for a hat.
Napkin.
Yeah,
You're eating, you have to have a napkin.
Dance
Surely you have to have. Yeah, dance, puppet, dance.
No, he hasn't got a napkin. Typically American. No napkin.
So uncivilized.
Hi, Ray.
I saw the Hangout description. What did we do now? I will happily speak for all Americans.
Hang on a minute. Just one sec, JD. Did you say Ray or Raw? Because it seems we have Raw in the Hangout in black and white.
It is Raw's
I'm
love.
his son.
It's Raw's love child.
I'm the son of Raw and Bible thumping wingnut. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it now?
You have to have a before you welcome Ray. But you have to have a message for Nate, which must include a profanity.
Cunt butter.
Very good.
Right.
JD,
you were saying?
What was that?
You have to have a message for Nate before you say anything else.
Yeah, Nate, you need to stop with the whole talking thing. You're good when you just kind of babble on and then cover every side of the conversation. You're basically like G-Man's answered prayer argument. You just cover every base. Like, well, I think slavery is wrong, but it's not wrong, but it could be either way. Next person. But let me cover that up with like 20 minutes of nonsense. When you get specific, you fucking suck. So just don't be specific. Stick to what you're good at, which is not saying anything at all.
I was going to talk about Doctors Without Borders and shit like that, but why bother, right? I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah, why bother when you're just a thoughtless atheist cunt?
Yeah, I did want to mention...
wankers is what I say. Gang of fucking wankers.
Since this is an atheist hangout and we're not talking... I do want to bring up pussy and how I'm a huge fan... So let's just talk about porn and vaginas all the time, because that's all atheists talk about, apparently.
Have you not tricked anyone into having sex with you this week?
Or animals. We're not specific.
Well, I do have to mention that the significant other is within earshot, so of course not. No, I would never. No.
Because obviously Nate says that's all we do. Of course, that's the only way us atheist males get sex.
He did promise to do the washing up.
Jim's wood chipper is 24/7 at the moment.
Well, it's broken at the moment. Fucking
I will say this.
It's full of Norwegians.
I have never tricked a woman into having sex. I have, however, tricked a woman into having sex probably earlier than she planned.
Yeah.
I got a couple moves that worked really, really well when I was doing it.
I find I don't need to trick women into having sex.
You guys will hear this. It's a good trick. I'll happily share it.
That could come across quite badly there, JD.
Beyonce wants to hear it too.
You need to just clarify what you mean by too early.
Well, first date. For whatever reason, I managed to convince a lot of women to come over and have the first date at my house. I don't know how that works. I'm smooth. Anyway,
handcuffs.
The trick. Well, that's if the first part.
Ice cream.
Rohypnol.
Chloroform.
I want.
It wasn't too overt a trick, but I would always, online conversation I talk about, my bed is ridiculously comfortable, and once they get there, I'm like, you see that? Not for anything sexual, just for the hell of it. I just want you gotta jump on that thing because it is.
JD, did she just groan when you mentioned your bed?
I actually call it the demon bed because once you're in it, you can't get out. And so most women would jump on the bed, and then I'd sit down next to it, and one thing with another, and that worked really surprisingly well.
But your fiance's in the next room, and she doesn't want to hear about your sexual exploitations.
He's always doing it, love.
What I mean is I never did any of that stuff. I was a virgin when I met her. And so let's talk about religion again.
I once...
Did you hear that? Technically, he was a virgin.
It would be bad for our show if prominent
doesn't count if it's not anal, though, does it?
Prominent atheist stabbed in the back by fiancé live on air.
I once induced symptoms.
It's a lot better than that, actually.
I once induced symptoms akin to suffocation in a woman by ejaculating up her nostrils.
I would say it's actually better because she's officially a Catholic. So it'd be Catholic on atheist violence. We could sell that to Kingdom Come. Oh yeah, those Christians, they're killing atheists again. You know how it is.
I once induced
I was
symptoms
officially
similar
an
to...
altar boy. Does that count me in?
Only if you swallow.
I had no choice.
Wayne, I once induced symptoms similar to suffocation in a woman. Oh, actually, it was suffocation.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah.
It is true that I was a virgin when I met her because I met her in high school.
I'm on about Jim killing women.
When you say you met her in high school, was that when you were a teacher? Anyway.
Anyway, we all know that JD gets women by spying on by the inappropriate use of NSA facilities.
Yeah.
Well, there is that. I mean, it's really easy to figure out what buttons to push when you've listened to it for like 20 hours. Talk about daddy issues. Like, oh, there we go. That's in the end.
He's got lots of cameras in lots of places.
I still have people who honestly think that I'm revealing something here, I know, but that I work for the NSA and that I'm a shill for the government.
That's
Because the
true.
government really cares if Arcane accepts evolutionary theory.
Well, that's what the NSA is for, isn't it?
Well, apparently, Love Int is actually a thing. Where NSA employees and GCHQ employees use, rather than catching extremists and that, they just use it to check up on their spouses.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Drag. Have you got a message for Nate, Drag?
Hey, Wendy.
Hi.
I don't think we ever talked vocally. How you doing?
Not too bad.
We always
I'm
chat and
actually on
comment.
the phone right now, so I'm going to have to mute myself for a minute, but I will be back.
When you come back, you've got to say something horrible about Nate.
Just a message, general message.
Oh,
And-
that's easy.
It's sad, but I actually know Wendy primarily through the more like in-group drama we've been having that's been popping up. Fiona and Mark and Wendy and Fiona and Mark and Annabelle and Fiona and Mark and Wendy and Wayne and Mark and Wendy and back Fiona and it's like, Brent, get your shit in order.
Well, a whole load of them were on Talking Shit Tuesday last night, and they all seem to be getting on quite well.
Well, let me fuck that up right now.
Yeah.
Say some horrible shit on everybody. You guys can fight among each other which one's right.
Yeah, we just decided. Well, we didn't decide anything. Hogtie invited us in, and we didn't argue.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, people that I thought had me blocked all turned up at once. It's fucking weird.
All right, well, guys, I'm gonna take a little break here to have dinner with the lady friend.
Dinner
Lady
being
friend.
a euphemism.
Go with fiance. She's got a ring. It's not lady friend anymore. So I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
She's got a ring, has she, JD?
It's
Nice to know your target.
huge ring, huge. Like, it takes up like her whole hand. It's like,
Oh,
It's actually a parasite.
A whole hand, eh?
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Well, my word.
I'm just curious. Where did Nate get this idea that atheists trick people into having sex? Who said something to prompt that?
He saw her hangout or a video by one person that mentioned one apparently quite not very nice person who happened to be an atheist, I think, that mentioned in his video that he tricked a couple of women into having sex with him the previous weekend. That's it. So that one person now represents atheism.
At the same time, or separate occasions.
I mean, I don't know what trick means. He could have said, I don't know.
I think it meant, in this case, I think it meant putting Marmite on his cock.
Or pick a card, any card. Oh, you got it wrong. Now you've got to sleep with me.
But he wasn't specific. It wasn't, a whole bunch of women like in a harem. Was it different women in different places, or how did that work?
No, I think it was just a video he saw of one person boasting that he tricked a couple of women into having sex with him at some point in the not too distant past. And
Yeah,
that
I've tricked women in having sex with me. It's the wonders of hypnotising.
Yeah.
One little tablet in a drink.
I kind of, I did by paying with somebody else's credit card.
I'm just curious. How did Nate ever convince a woman to engage in that activity? Did he cry in a corner and she felt sorry for him, or did he just did he pull out a roll of hundreds and like, hey, things can happen. Once this leaves my hand, what? I'm very curious.
What, it's along the lines of like, hi there, my name's Nate. I've been sort of called that since as long as I can remember. I think you're kind of attractive, but maybe not. But I really would like to have sex with you. But if that's fine with you, I'm not saying that you really have to do it, but it would be kind of cool. It would be not sucky. In fact, sucky would be good. Sucky fucky, really good. That sort of conversation.
That was his chat line. Fuck me, I'm not sucky.
I honestly think that
$15.
Money wouldn't be involved. You wouldn't be able to hold a roll in them hands.
You see, assuming Nate's not a virgin, then he must have tricked women into having sex with him by pretending not to be a complete cunt.
Come on. That guy's halfway good looking. He's not the worst guy. Yeah.
There's empty condom packets on your floor.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
What did Ray just say?
Changing the subject just a little bit so we don't sort of go overboard on the Nate too much, because
It's all banter.
I think the ship sailed on that one, Mark.
Yeah, I've tried. Did anyone see the video of the woman that visited the Creationist Museum?
No.
Oh, the woman
Oh,
before.
she found the fish.
I saw that.
Megan Fox, I think her name
Megan
is.
Fox, yeah.
Yeah,
From the Transformer movies.
not to be confused with the one from no. This is a completely weird-looking older blonde American woman who videoed her. I think the second time she's been to the museum, and she was overjoyed. Couldn't look how wonderful it was to see this diorama of a rainforest with fucking penguins in it. Showing all the animals and Adam and Eve in the garden together, and it's a depiction of Adam as he's naming the animals, and there's 3 or 4 penguins there. Couldn't believe it, and dinosaurs, of course.
So how many languages are there in the world at the moment? There are quite a few, I would have thought. Several thousand, let's say.
At least 6.
Yeah. So there's only one important one, that's English.
Lots of languages and lots of.
So did he name each animal 6,000 times?
Yeah, well, you must have done. Or Mastodon.
Mastodon?
See what I said there? See what I did there? Named an animal.
Mastodon, was it?
It's a dinosaur, isn't it? It's a mastodon.
Masturbate?
Oh, right, I thought it was an activity.
Sorry, I don't hear too well these days.
Potato! Hello, it's Nate.
Go on, detail.
Why is Gray keep using socks?
Keeps his feet warm.
Or for wanking it?
I had to come in here. We were bashing Nate, and I had heard about this nonsense from a few people, and then someone told me that he believes his kids are evil because they lie to him, and I had to come in and see if anyone else had heard that.
I haven't heard that, but that's great.
I'm not going to say who told me that, but supposedly he says that his kids are evil because they lie to him all the time. And I don't know. But here's the thing. I have a 4-year-old. He lies to me all the time because he wants fucking cake. He doesn't understand that lying to daddy is bad until I tell him, hey, no. I know you've had a piece of cake before. Your grandmother just gave you one. So I have to actually teach him why lying is bad and go through this whole process. But I learned in, child psychology years ago that children really don't have the capacity to know that is bad. So it's just, I can't. I thought he was a good guy. I really did.
Yeah, I think that's what we've all learnt about him. I mean, this is quite Fundy type thinking, isn't it? If this is true, then this is another thing about.
I'm kind of worried because if this is the first, this basically lying is a gateway sin to homosexuality. So I'm a bit concerned about Snake's children. Actually.
Well, forgive the accent I'm going to do because it's purely for effect. You just imagine him saying to the kids and saying like. Fucking hell! You think fucking Noah had it bad? You lie to me one more time, you little cunt, I'll drown you in your own fucking piss!
Said the Lord.
Said the Lord. Hallelujah!
I've got Nate on the line now.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Okay, he's basically saying, that there's a lot of immorality from a lot of atheists in a lot of places.
There's a lot you can tell by the type of conversation that's going on how immoral you are.
Well, this is the point. We are.
I'm actually looking forward to a Nate video for a change, because it'll give us that talk about next week.
But then we're all dirty fucking sinners anyway, so it's no surprise. I don't know why he's worried that we're immoral. We're supposed to be, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I'm an adulterer according to G-Man.
Well,
death to you.
we will have all moved on by then, and the next victim roll on.
I can't take G-Man seriously at all anymore. Anyone that can't even walk down a pavement the right way keeps going across the width all the time. And he was talking about the building or something. This building, and that was designed intelligently.
Did you see the video he put out with the guy in the wig he was talking to, who had the sign saying, "I need money for weed" or something? Yeah. And you're like, he's like, "Oh, I got an honest atheist here." At least he admitted it. The one fucking person you can find in New York that's going to agree with you is some dick with a fucking Rasta wig on and an "I need money for weed" sign. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel there. I'm sorry, that isn't really. Is that all atheists?
Yeah.
Is that who Nate's talking about?
And Ken Jones was perving at 3 or 4 scantily clad women, and they kept saying, "Don't point the camera at us." And then so G-Man just kept the camera on Ken Jones, who wasn't taking any notice of G-Man. He was just staring at the women like bizarre.
Do you reckon Ken Jones' chat-up line is, "Do you want to go for a slide?"
Probably, "Have you got any donuts?"
Oh, man.
Any spare change for a sandwich?
You guys are mean and immoral.
Going
to hell.
It's his T-shirts and his hats. He must spend hours scribbling on them.
They're beautiful.
And it looks like a 3-year-old with broken wrists has done it.
Thank you, Ray.
What, G-Man?
The stuff on Ken Jones's T-shirts is just he just writes half the Bible.
You said a 3-year-old with a broken wrist.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, G-Man. Yeah.
I imagine him and Ken Jones on their bed like little 12-year-old schoolgirls kicking their feet, listening to Pop writing on it. This would be the
well, I've got an even more disturbing picture for you, Drag.
On a sleepover.
You just said if Ken Jones and G-Man on the bed, right? Imagine Borat and his friend on the bed.
I guess I had that one coming.
Give me your tears, Gypsy. Give me your tears, atheist. Well, we haven't got any more subjects. I mean, all I put down for subjects this week was why is America rubbish and Nate. That's about it.
Well, back to Nate.
There's A4 piece of paper with America's rubbish.
Does Blue want to address the point I made about Obama? I know Blue sometimes disagrees with me.
Well, I didn't hear it. Did you already discuss why America is rubbish and why we're doomed?
Yep.
Yeah, I basically said that considering that Obama has got no more terms to serve, that even though he's hamstrung by Congress, there are a lot of things he could do. He could actually stand up in front of a podium and say to the nation what's wrong with the nation. He could actually say to the state, the nation's police forces, look, sort yourselves out, the world's watching. And he's got nobody to answer for anymore because he's not seeking re-election. He's actually said, what I said, Blue, is that he's actually said this in speeches that he's got nobody left to impress because this is it for him. He's actually made jokey remarks on that he's got.
Well, give him just a little more time. There's 2017 is not soon. All I can tell you is that anybody who gets to be in that chair is not lacking in ambition. And Barack Obama, like everyone before him, will care about his legacy and care about what he leaves to the nation. And what he does with the remaining months, I can't tell you. I wish he would do exactly what you just fucking said, obviously. I wish. Among other things.
But you take my point, though, Blue.
Here. How about this? How about you give us till January 20th, 2017? Because exactly right. I won't sleep as well when Obama's gone. You think you've seen something?
Beat Richie.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize it, but I actually, depending on who the Republican candidate is, they could easily win. I mean, look what happened in America for the last basically my adult life. 2 terms Republican, 2 terms Democrat, 2 terms Republican, 2 terms Democrat. We're due for another 2 terms Republican.
Yeah, but the point, Blue, is that what I'm saying is he could use his position as the nation's premier spokesman.
Pulpit.
Yeah, he could use the pulpit to set precedents in motion. Not a pun. Set precedents in motion, a national spirit, so to speak. That if he, so that by the time that whoever gets in, there might be, because the thing is, if he leaves it too late, then there won't be the momentum. So let's just say if now he actually makes people think, oh, this guy actually is for us after all, and actually shames police force, for example, into sorting their act out, then that's so. I know I'm being naive in this, but just go with me one step. Then come 2016, 2017, then things will be in motion, and people won't be as likely to tolerate stuff if the Republicans do it. Whereas if nothing changed until then, they're basically sleepwalking into it, and they've had no taste of good stuff. Do you see what I'm getting at?
The only quibble I would have there is in terms of time. In terms of timing, I think it is better to wait, because it's just more guff and nonsense from Washington. I'm ashamed to admit the short-term memory and attention span of Americans are pretty weak. They need to wait till they know Obama is gone or going to be gone before he can take that action, I would think. Or,
you see, something
that's just my game.
Something else that disturbed me, I didn't realise until I saw it on Secular Talk, when Obama addressed the nation and said that, expressed his dismay at Rand Paul and that causing that deadline to expire, putting the Snoopers charter back in, and he's saying like we're unprotected, and then on Secular Talk it showed a clip from when he was senator, talking expressly against that which he's now in favour of. I didn't realise that Obama had said such things back then about being against public surveillance, and it stinks. It stinks that he's for it.
In his defence, I guess everyone has the opportunity to change their minds about something, and what I said maybe 5 years ago is not necessarily what I think now.
Yeah, but civil liberties, though. That means the thing. We're not talking. We're not talking straight after 9/11 and etc. We're talking a long time after 9/11 and even longer after 9/11. So it's not as though you see what I'm saying. It's
yes.
It's to change your mind on civil liberties. There's something pretty fucking rotten in Denmark.
Well, look at Christopher Hitchens, for example, then. I mean, he radically changed some of his political views, including personal freedoms. He was a hardcore Marxist and went over to being, I guess a lot of people called it neoconservative, wouldn't they?
But then he recanted that.
Right. So what we're saying is people can change their minds. They might not be right all the time, but surely you can't hold it against somebody. In fact, in some ways, it's braver, is it not, to admit when you've been, or to change your mind on something rather than to dogmatically stick with something?
All that is very politic, and you're very brave, Jim. But I'd rather he hadn't changed his mind on this one in terms of civil.
Well, yeah, from our point of view, that might be right.
But there might be something that he knows that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Lots of times,
it doesn't matter if you.
Go on, Ed.
Go ahead, brother.
It doesn't matter what political. I agree with Wayne in the fact that it doesn't matter what financial pressure you're under the end of your presidency. You should be able to just go presidential veto. Fuck you all. This is for the people. This is for the people that I represent. This is for the people.
Yeah.
Well,
within reason.
They're pardoned a lot at the end.
You still need taxations and systems and what have you. I'm not taking away from that whatsoever. However, to a certain extent, presidential, especially the most, as Western democracy is fed to us across in Ireland anyway, Western democracy is the freedom of the people, a person's voice. It's bullshit, isn't it, though?
But I mean, I'm playing a devil's advocate a bit because I largely agree with what you're saying. But imagine if George W. Bush had finished his last term as president by making, I don't know, Christianity the adopted state religion of America.
Sure.
And put his veto in. Just because we think one way on a certain subject doesn't mean that a lot of people aren't going to think in a different way.
Sure.
Well, another thing on the subject. See if Mr. Blue agrees with this. Hang on, Ed. The insane doubling down they did over Bradley Manning and WikiLeaks and Snowden. The insane doubling down. You know what I'm on about with that?
I am not as informed on that subject as I need to be, certainly, but doubling down does seem to be the right word for it,
and just to redress
they
that,
have something big to hide. I don't know, or what are they hiding? Can't be that bad, can it?
Well, that's the point. It's not. It's the fact that they've not got anything that big to hide, right?
His wife has, apparently.
It's been released. The fact is, it's just butthurt at anything being released. It's zero tolerance. It's you can't do things like that to Uncle Sam. Therefore, we're going to lock you up in Supermax forever.
Well, I think I disagree. As me previously working for the federal government, I can tell you there are things that people in their positions do know that the government does not want the public to know. And one of the things that was verified, I believe, were black sites. And everyone in the military who has served knows about black sites, but you know how they're covered up and you know different aspects about them, but you really never know the exact locations or names or anything like that.
No, but the thing is, it's a tacit knowledge. And people are aware of the existence of black sites.
Even convention.
People are aware
of brought up on war crimes for. That's the mar on your.
Hello, is everybody?
Hello.
There was a bit of lag there, I think.
It was sounding funny.
It was Wendy's fault.
Y'all hear me? It's Wendy's fault.
Was it Drag who went, or was it me?
No, I think it was Drag.
He was playing a video game, I could see. He kept on flashing up.
Have you a message for Nate, Wendy?
For Nate?
Yeah, a vile one, please.
Oh, no.
Well, all I can really say is that he's batshit crazy, but other than that...
What, you've got to use profanity?
Come on. Shit, come on now.
Shit, batshit crazy! Yeah.
Blue, have you seen Wayne's sign? Wayne's man cave sign?
No, what is on his guitar there?
Oh, white, but it says...
Speak up, Wayne, then I'll be able to see.
It says post-Nate depression and piss flaps.
It should be post-natum depression, like postpartum.
Oh yeah, Barnum.
No, the thing is, they might not. As viewers, might not have got that.
True. Did anyone see what Pope Francis said this week?
Oh, I bet you it's something fucking cretinous.
Was it bring me some more boys?
He said he compared the Mediterranean migrant crisis to abortion. He said that leaving migrants travelling on boats to die in the Mediterranean is similar to the scourge of abortion. He also said, the one that made me laugh, he said that euthanasia was an attack against life. No shit.
I'm just glad to see you smart enough to work that out.
It's legal in Canada.
Do you know what? Right, hang on, Aidan. Right. Well, the thing is, if that was in an interview and he said the migrants in the Mediterranean drowning in the Mediterranean is like abortion, if the interviewer had been really on the ball, he'd have said, well, if it were down to you cunts, if going on previous form with condoms, you wouldn't throw them fucking life. You ban them from having lifeboats.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that the Pope's not more into youth in Asia, because that's what most of his priests fuck.
Very good. Youths in Asia. He actually made the comments at a meeting of the Italian Associazione Scienza. I'll say it in English, it's fucking better.
Otherwise known as FIFA.
The Science and Life Association. They should make him president of FIFA. That'd be funny.
FIFA.
The thing is, he'd probably actually make a better job.
That's right. I was about to say, if you need to that, couldn't be worse.
Yeah, no, he'd had the World Cup in fucking Italy every 4 years.
In the Vatican City.
Yeah, Italy or Ireland.
That has got to be better than Q8. Really?
Yeah.
Q8? Really?
Qatar, isn't it?
Qatar.
Or as the Americans...
I thought Qatar was something you coughed up when you had the flu.
I heard the Americans mentioning that word today when they were the American investigator, and they keep calling it Qatar. It's not Qatar, it's Qatar.
It's weird. It's absolutely weird because I remember when the Serbs were doing the genocide in Kosovo, and the Americans, especially Bill. I specifically remember Bill Clinton. Every time he went to the news, he pronounced Kosovo as Kosovo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's one that's repeated over and over again by moronic people in politics in the United States, and that is the word nuclear. It's spelled Nuclear. It's not nuclear.
Well, actually, thing is, Wendy, a lot, even in this country, when I was a kid, a lot of people actually thought it wasn't that because they'd not seen the word written down. They'd heard it said, and they misheard it, and they pronounced it as new killer, as in new killer.
Yeah.
It's a new killer bomb.
You see where Wayne lives, they didn't have things like books and written language.
Well, they did, but I had them all.
It was oral tradition up there.
I was the only one with the book.
When Wayne was a kid.
It was just stuff scratched onto a loaf of Hovis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good name for it, though. New killer. It's a new killer.
New killer bomb.
New killer.
When Wayne was a kid, it was hieroglyphics on stone.
You're fucking older than me, Wendy.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
Can you say that in a slightly higher voice, Wayne?
That's what I do when I get a bit emphatic.
That was funny, though.
Shh, you're not supposed to tell anybody how old I am.
I don't know how old you are, I just know that you're older than me.
Where's JD gone? If someone wants to get in, I might boot him.
I think he's gone for a shag.
Yeah, he said it would be 3 minutes, and he's exceeded that mandate.
That means sex in American.
That's what the cock ring does.
Shall I boot him then?
Yeah, apologies.
There he comes.
There he goes.
Oh, there he comes. Yeah, see.
There he is. He heard you.
Don't bruise me, please. No.
I guess the trick didn't work then.
No.
Dinner is over. I'm back. Hi. I've been listening.
By the way,
That
JD,
was your-
you need to Rizzler in the YouTube comments has made a point addressed at you. It is. Has it got? Hang on.
I've just read it. Yeah.
JD taking notes on how to really talk shit, not like that watered down diarrhea on his channel.
Who said that?
JD's going to retort, hey, there's already water now.
Who dared to say something like that to me?
Rizzler.
Oh, well, who fucking cares about Rizla?
He's cool.
That guy is troll extraordinaire for neither side.
He's funny, though. Makes me laugh.
I enjoy like some of his other stuff, but now it just seems he's just he reminds me more of Douglas.
Oh,
Just a
God.
douchebag to be a douchebag. Like, just stop talking. You're not enjoyable. Riz is actually. I don't have to block him. He's actually already on my block list.
Douglas cannot have anyone left to talk to now. No, they can't have anyone.
I have a question. Right?
We've got a bit of an echo going on, guys.
It'll be JD with no headphones. So.
Yeah, it's. Damn it! I get that.
Got the live feed going, have you, JD?
Shut up! I'll beat you.
I'll look forward to it, Mr. Norris.
Norris.
Chuck Norris's slightly more intelligent twin.
Jesus.
JD, you been going on the roller coasters recently?
I'll tell you in a second. Leave the headphones in.
Don't go to Alton Towers, for fuck's sake.
I was going to say I got a couple of spare tickets if you want them going cheap for tomorrow.
Yeah, they're closed, aren't they?
Yeah.
I told them after I sold them the fucking things.
It was leg injuries, wasn't it? They're quite serious leg injuries, so we're probably talking.
They were right at the front.
Amputations.
Fucking conquered, smashed. Essentially, they front ended the empty carriage, didn't they? And it's just.
Yeah, the empty carriage should have been taken off the block, and they didn't. They sent the full one round, and it smashed into the empty carriage and seriously injured 4 teenage kids who were sat at the front.
Well, luckily I wasn't there. I was at Cedar Point, which is supposedly the #1, roller coaster park in the world.
Injury park in the world, yeah.
Injury park. I didn't have any issue with that. So, a couple rides knocked my ears around a little bit.
It's part of the fun, though, right?
Yeah. Well, that part I don't really enjoy. In fact, there was a couple rides I'll never do again. This is my first time there since I was yay big.
I imagine there's a couple of people who won't be going on the Smiler again as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll have to rename it.
I don't know if you guys know roller coasters, but Cedar Point's got some pretty impressive ones. The Millennium Force is a big giga coaster, it's 300 feet up. Nice 81-degree drop, so that's intense. Lots of cool upward bank turns. What?
Wood roller coaster? Did you get any old wooden roller coasters?
Yeah, unfortunately, the one real wooden roller coaster I went on was awful. It was way too violent. It made your back hurt, and it wasn't very. It was called the Mean Streak, and it was. People warned me before going that's awful. Just to let you know, they don't maintain it enough, and it's terrible. I'll try it, and yeah, ow, ow, ow. People were I had to lay down my back afterwards to try and straighten it out. Now I like good. I like.
thought you'd have had that, JD, in litigious America.
It's surprising, no one's suing over this, but then again, I guess you choose to go on it. There are great. I live near Kings Island, which is another Cedar Park, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Kings Dominion. They're all under the same umbrella of one corporation. Kings Island has the Beast, which is a 4.5-minute wooden roller coaster. It's a terrain coaster. It goes back into the terrain, dips around, has some cool turns. It actually has 2 lift hills, and like I said, it's 4.5 minutes. It's very long, and it's wonderful. Know what he's talking
about?
So you still have places named after our ex-monarch. That's lovely.
Do you have a monarch named the Beast?
Never forget who used to rule the world.
You had a monarch named the Beast?
That was after the Civil War.
I'm at a loss also.
Henry VIII I am.
You're at a loss. What?
I'm at a loss as well. Who the fucking hell's the Beast?
Yeah, it's a wooden roller coaster.
No. What Mark's about?
No, I meant King's Park.
His old age, what they're talking about.
He said King's Park, Wayne. So I said, well, it's nice that they've still got places in America named after King George.
Oh, I think it's named after cigarettes.
Well, hey, Kings Island, that's...
Kings Island, yeah, see? It's named after George.
Okay.
Former ruler and slave master.
Anyway, the point I was making, which had nothing to do with that...
The world was so much better when we ran it. Come on.
Yeah, it's a minute longer than when I went on. It just doesn't have the same kind of jolt that make it not fun. The best one was the Maverick. Goes up 100 feet, drops you at 95-degree angle, so you actually go inward a little bit on the way down. And then it's got these ridiculous, wonderful twists. It keeps taking you boom. Oh. It's you're twisting and the restraints off a lot. A couple cool corkscrews, and then it's all LIM. It's magnetics. So it stops in the middle of the ride in a tunnel, then shoots you out 70 miles an hour.
Sounds like a night with Tommy Hall.
And of course, everyone... yeah, everyone's just trying to buck you off, yeah. It's called the Maverick after the horse, so yeah.
Couple of corkscrews, bit of twisted.
I think everyone was you included, Mark, were commenting on the giant phallic symbol behind me.
Yes, it did.
That
look,
was.
Did that one knock your back out?
Yeah, well, that was the Top Thrill Dragster. It's one of the tallest roller coasters in the world. It's 416 feet, so it's kind of ridiculous. The whole point of it is it shoots you out like a drag strip. You go from 0 to 120 in about 3 seconds. Does
it shoot you out the top like a penis?
that would suck. What it does do is actually it happened a couple times yesterday. Not
if you're lucky.
The whole point is it goes up and comes back. Sometimes though, when the weather's not right, it will roll back. So you get up there and then suddenly you go backwards down 400 feet down at the beginning, and that's apparently people look forward to that when it screws up and sends you back to the start because it's built to just barely get you over the top.
So people like it when the roller coaster goes wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. They have days occasionally called rollback days when the weather is such a way that it almost always rolls back, so they can never finish the ride. So they start like, okay, after you a couple times and it rolls back, we'll let you off the ride. And so people like live for that, like it's rollback day, everyone get up there. Because what's more intense than going up and then going down? What it does is it goes straight up and then turns and then goes down in a bit of a spiral and then empties out. Now imagine going up and then just falling backwards 400 feet. That's got to be intense. In fact, someone I was talking to in line, I was on one of the rollbacks that day, and said, "Yeah, my glasses were floating in front of me. I was trying to grab them because the zero G. They're on a line on everything, like trying to reach for them."
That could be Andy Jack's favourite ride, that because it's shaped like a cock. They could rename it the QQOQQ.
I'm not sure how sincere he is. Because he did flip-flop once. I mean, he went from, creationist to theistic evolutionist. It's very rare for people to go back after they've seen the evidence. They're like, okay, I'm now settled on that. They could eventually become atheists, but they typically don't become fundamentalists again. So this whole shit he's doing seems like bullshit to me. What
you're forgetting, though, JD, is under the influence of a total bell end called Dodgy Dave.
I do not know Dodgy Dave yet.
Dodgy Dave is butthurt at me and Mark. Therefore, he took umbrage at a video on my channel where I was moaning about the quality or lack of driving in snowy weather in Britain, and I basically said that if the choice was because people would abandon the cars and walking on the road rather than the pavement because the snow was too thick on the pavement. And I said, but the problem is when you've got lorries coming downhill and there's abandoned cars and you have an abandoned car on your side and you're having to go into the road to go round pedestrians into the path of a 44-ton truck that's coming downhill in snow, all for the sake of people who can't step onto the pavement when this lorry's coming. I said, if it's a choice between 44-ton truck, head on, or giving the vehicle horn and hitting them, I'll take hitting them every time.
And
he went on a rant to say I were a psychopath who wanted to run people over. David Ariel Hickman consistently challenged Andy Jack, saying, "Do you believe?" Because Andy was saying this, it was mate Dodgy Dave, dipshit Dave. So and David was basically saying, David Hickman was saying, "Do you think Wayne would intentionally run somebody over?" Wouldn't answer the question because it would mean going against his mate.
I think he'd intentionally run somebody over, Wayne.
Especially if it was Dave.
I think you'd reverse over them as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, my position is a little different. If I have a choice...
Just hang on a sec, JD. Anyway, so he says this person is a psychopath, and there'll be a justification for this man losing his driving license for the things he's said. Right. And there was some other things, and it made some other comments, and it basically... it was plain that the guy was desperately trying to find my docs.
Oh yes, and also it all goes back to one of Andy Jack's hangouts, and he had his mate Dave on to explain Apparently, Dave went down a disused
wartime
bunker in Kent, in southeast of England, and went down there with a couple of people, and they took photographs and filmed it. And when they came back, they noticed on the film that there seemed to be what looked like the faces of demons in the walls.
They were just photographic artifacts
and orbs and stuff. So obviously he's now convinced he'd had a supernatural experience. And not only that, I think he had a damaged leg from a motorcycle accident, and his father had died. And apparently that all tied in because the doctors couldn't do anything about his leg.
The bone weren't knitting.
Yeah, that's right, the bone wasn't knitting properly. But once he'd been down the deep dark hole, and his father's spirit was probably down there for other reasons we don't know, and his leg magically healed afterwards, which proved the supernatural connection. And so Wayne and I sort of tried to debunk it a bit and say, well, no, could we talk to him about this in the Hangout? And he got very
for him to produce the originals, the high-def versions, rather than the grainy YouTube.
Basically, he was trying to make the point that there were lots of ghosts in lots of places.
Yeah, and because we didn't believe him, we're now obviously
very sucky.
Yeah.
Well, I think obviously it wasn't his dad that it was the demons, because he is the one with the dark lore.
He tried to write a book about it. He tried to write a book about his experiences, and apparently the people, the quote-unquote people on the internet, or internet people as he called them, they actually stopped him from writing his book. Fuck no. I don't know whether they hid his pencils or stole his pens.
Took all his channels down.
Yeah.
Stole his crayons.
Yeah.
And now here's the other thing, right? Just recently, because he keeps putting stuff on various channels, then nuking the channels. Just recently, this Dave was making videos sat in his car, basically jumping on the thick shades and Panda Man bandwagon. You know the whole baiting thick shades thing, because I don't agree, because they're just fucking nobodies, right? Anybody who gives more than a fucking heartbeat to thick shades is a fucking equally a wanker, in my opinion.
Oh, hang on, you just dissed somebody's entire hobby.
Well, it's just beyond me. Yeah, anyway, so he's making videos about thick shades and Panda Man. Right? Last week, he's up the fucking arse. They're big buddies with thick shades and Panda Man. This guy. Andy Jack's mate. So, when you say you're not convinced, JD, of Andy Jack's descent into creatardity, I would say he's a credulous person hanging around with complete fucking idiots.
Our NHS has been wasting billions all this time in healing people. All we needed to do was take them to disused military bases and drop them down a big hole.
Just wait for Dodgy Dave's dad to show up. I mean, you're good.
Oh, you've not heard the best bit yet, right? The best bit yet. He says, right then, what you need to go to the Bastion. If you went to the, that's what it's called. If you went to the Bastion, you'd realise it was true. I says, I'll go. I says, I'm quite a few miles away from there, so it's a considerable journey, relatively speaking. Not in American terms, but in British terms it is. So in the middle of the summer, I'll go down there, probably a bike ride, go down on the old bike, and we'll. I says, Mark will come along, and we'll get a couple of tinnies, bit of draw, and have take the piss in the Bastion.
Would it be great if you both came back Catholics? Like, what the fuck?
No, but here's the thing.
JD, there's a burglar just right at your house.
Yeah, wearing sports outfit.
But then Dave says, no, that won't do. You can't go in there laughing and joking, and you must go in there alone, and you must go in there at Halloween.
Yeah. And if we don't, we're cowards.
Oh boy! I mean, I admit I used to believe in ghosts because I had a trusted friend who gave me the story, and I just couldn't think of a line. So like, yeah, tentatively, I'll take that. Looking back now, that was just I was being credulous. Thought about like, okay,
everybody has this in their nature. Myself, I'm still fucking scared of a film I saw when I was a kid. I don't like having an uncurtained window at night because of the film Sail and Lot.
That's what gay porn does to you, Wayne.
Because the floating vampire kid scratching at the window.
Salem's Lot, yeah, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I don't like having an uncurtained window at night because of it.
It's just been Nate in his doll's hands scratching on the glass.
Yeah.
I have a weirder story that's not
But
ghost related.
He wouldn't be able to get in, Wayne. Do you know why? Because you'd have lots of garlic.
You know, it's a good explanation of like how indoctrination works and how powerful it is when you're young. Here's a personal story which you guys are gonna get a kick out of. When I was 2 or 3, I loved taking baths. I had me and my twin sister would take a bath, and I never wanted to get out. My mom, I was just a really terrible child. I would just not listen to any authorities. I still don't really. And mom told my dad like I can't get him out of the tub. He said, "Hold on, let me try something." He went in. I'm telling the story from their point of view because I don't remember it. He said, "Hey, if you don't get out before the water's gone, you'll go down the drain." Boom! I shot out there like a lightning bolt. Like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm gonna fucking die. And from like then until I was like 16, 17, I couldn't go near drains ever. Like I would go to I couldn't go to the deep end of pools until I was like late adolescent. Even then, I would have this little twinge of fear in the back of my head, like, oh, I might go down there. So that's all it took. That one line, one time, and I was fucked for so long. Couldn't go near drains of all things.
I told my 5-year-old sister that there were sharks in the swimming pool when she was still in it, and she literally shit herself. It was brilliant.
When I was a little kid, there was a program on television called Night Gallery, and
I remember that.
I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was scary, and I was a little kid. My parents didn't want me watching it, but I would sneak down the staircase, and there were the rungs on the staircase, and if I sat on a particular step, I could see the TV through the rungs. And so I would sneak down and watch this program when I was supposed to be in bed. Well, there was this one episode where this person went to their car broke down in the middle of the wilderness, and they went into this old creepy mansion. Anyway, the guy said, "Oh, well, you can stay. The phones were out or whatever. You can stay here for the night or whatever." Well, while the guy was there, they drugged him and amputated his legs so he couldn't leave ever. And for years and years after I watched that episode, I would tuck my legs up under me when I slept at night because I was afraid somebody was going to amputate my feet.
Wendy, I have had a very, very similar thing in my time. Very, very similar.
Wayne thought they were going to amputate his cock, so he had to hold on to it every night.
The film for me was The Exorcist, and I was very young when I saw it, but to this day I still cannot go near my girlfriend's vibrator drawer.
There was one story I did see. I've since been told it might be a fake, but I'd love it anyway. So I'm going to screen share just the.
I know what you mean.
I'm going to screen share the mugshots and just read the story.
Oh wait, talking about spooky things, by the way, what are those funny eyes behind Wendy?
I think it's.
Look to her left. There's some really spooky eyes.
Oh, it's a stereo in the background with the light.
Look.
Actually, it looks like number 5 from Short Circuit.
Number
5.
The other side of the bed, there are 2 spooky eyes.
It's a teddy bear.
No, I see what you mean. I think they're orbs. I think they're spiritual orbs.
Yeah. I mean, that's proof Dodgy Dave would
demonic. We all know Wendy's in cahoots with the demons. So perfect sense.
I'm screen sharing the mugshots of these 2 people. The one on the left, the guy, just makes me die. And the story goes, I'll read it. It says, a married couple in Florida, Tito and Amanda Watts, were arrested a few days ago for selling golden tickets to heaven to hundreds of people. They sold the tickets on the street for $99.99 per ticket and told the buyers the tickets were made from solid gold and that each ticket reserved the buyer a spot in heaven. You simply presented the ticket at the pearly gate and you're in. Tito Watts said in his police statement, I don't care what the police say, the tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and said to sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space. I met an alien named Stevie who said if I got the cash together, he'd take me and my wife on his flying saucer to his planet that's made entirely of drugs. You shouldn't be arresting me. You should arrest Jesus because he's the one that gave me the tickets and said to sell them. I'm even willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up. Amanda Watt said in her statement, we just wanted to leave Earth and go to space and do drugs. I didn't do nothing. Tito sold the tickets to heaven. I just watched. Police said Police said they confiscated over $10,000 in cash, drug paraphernalia, and a baby alligator.
You know, that's
hang
not...
on, JJ. Leave that screen share up. Present it to everybody. I just like to plant a seed in some people's heads. Trade yard loan vehicle.
I see Trey. I'm calling racist on the vehicle one now.
No, because it doesn't look like G-Man. It doesn't look like Hogan, but it's
Actually, well, you know what? You mentioned G-Man, but do you remember when I dropped G-Man at the very end of his broadcast? He did that thing with his lips, like right before it cut off. That could be G-Man when he's like really pissed at something you've done.
Now the weird thing here is that of all the fundies on the G Plus community, none of them have made that much money from something so incredulous. I think it just shows a level of intelligence which is lacking in G Plus theism. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if G-Man's got a steal a safe with $3,000 in it, you'd think he'd monetize his fucking channel by now, wouldn't you?
You're kidding me.
You think Jesus would have said, and so God would have said, G-Man, for fuck's sake, monetize it. But no.
Here's a question then. What's the smallest source of income in the Great Debate?
Nate's Patreon.
I was going to say.
I was saying Matt Bell's Patreon.
Yeah.
Has Matt Bell got Patreon too?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he wants to be a
everybody?
full-time apologist.
Yeah, well, anyone who's got a Patreon is a complete cock by definition.
I imagine Matt Bell has like $20 being donated by an anonymous person, which turns out to be Matt Bell trying to make himself feel better.
Haven't you got a Patreon, JD?
Yes, I do. Love the dollars.
How's that going for you?
I'm making $3 per episode.
3. It's more than G-Man.
I would pay Matt Bell $3 to fuck off.
You wants that?
If any of you guys want to throw like $1 or $2 away, I will take it because I like money.
No, I've got literally anything better to do with my money.
I have got to agree. I have got this thing against Patreon. I really have.
Yeah, I have
yes,
too.
but I will bend my morals for you if you pay me. I'll do anything.
It's just easier to ask people for money to go to New York, surely.
Well, I usually just beg people because I need more Mountain Dew and Honey Nut Cheerios. So.
That's all you need to do.
What? It's important. I got diabetes. I got to keep it under control.
That's Wayne laughing. Yeah, don't fuck about with Patreon and all that shit. Just ask for the money.
I like how I mentioned Mountain Dew and Cheerios, and everyone's like, "Duh, we know who he's talking about."
Fuck that. I need money for my fishing addiction.
I just can't think of a single person on YouTube who I care enough about to give them a farthing.
Farthing? We haven't used farthing since the 1960s.
That's the point.
And you're saying that Wendy's older than you, Wayne?
I wouldn't give them a Victorian halfpenny. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm probably quite a bit older than Wayne, am I not?
I've no idea. You'd have to tell me how old you are
Don't look it.
for me to answer that question.
Have you been carbon dated?
Well, we know that's very unreliable.
Have they found soft tissue inside your bones?
So let's have a doctor take a bone saw. Yeah, there's soft tissue in you, Wendy. Like, you put that back now.
I'd say Wendy's probably about 10 years older than Wayne.
I think it's been hinted at before that Wendy's in her early 50s.
Never ask a lady her age.
I think it may have been
you can
mentioned.
guess all you want.
He was making an unfounded allegation.
No, I think she's told me. But being the gentleman that I am, I have actually forgot. I cast it.
So what
out
you're
of
saying,
mind.
she's told you her age in private, and you decided, fuck that, I'll tell the world.
He made up
Well,
some number then.
I say the world, I actually mean 23 people.
Well,
Lots
even
of-
better. You
lots
just
of places.
said that you're
Lots of
just
places.
memory stuff.
Look,
I can't
Mark
remember
already
shit. That's
did
why
it.
I'm such a
Mark
gentleman.
already released it because he says 10 years older than me. I'm 42. He'd already put the ballpark into the ether.
Okay. I just had a birthday on Monday too, so
Hey,
Yeah, I know you did. I don't know how
I'm a
many
little
though.
bit older than I was last
Wendy,
week.
how many candles did you have?
How many candles?
Yeah.
2.
One for each half century.
Yeah, exactly.
One for each quarter century. No.
Quarter century. That's what I meant. Sorry. Damn it.
No. I don't
Tell
care.
us what
I'll
the
tell
Great
you.
War was like,
I'll
Wendy.
tell you how old I am. I'm 54. As of Monday, I'm 54.
Woohoo! That means you're older than me. You're the oldest here.
Woohoo! Yay!
Ray's got to be the youngest.
I thought,
maybe Wolfgang.
No, hang on a minute. Mick Jagger's older than that, surely.
Yeah. Simon's 75.
Yeah, Wolf here's a fetus. Wow.
Oh, Wolf's 22. Blimey.
Well, I guess I don't feel so bad. I turned 28 in September.
28. Wow.
I thought Wolf were older than 22.
You've got a very wise head on young shoulders there, Mr. Drag.
My oldest child is 33.
What is it? What is it about black people that when you age, it doesn't quite show the way it does on white people, where it turns giant wrinkled bastards?
Melanin. No, it's not. Wait, it's not racist. No, he actually has a point. It's melanin. The melanin in our skin keeps the collagen tight. So, if you saw a picture of my grandmother, you'd think she was 40 years old. It is melanin. Wolf's laughing. It's true. You go look it up. Melanin actually keeps the skin taut.
Now, wait, hold on. There's actually, I have another question. And, this isn't racist, but dude, fried chicken watermelon. Why do y'all love it so much?
No, it's not that we love it. White people have convinced themselves that we love it. That's all it is. Everything that white people believe about us becomes true because white people say it.
Well, next step.
Outside and say, you know what? Black people say they're going to ascend to heaven tomorrow. Really? Who said that? I don't know. George down the street said it, and so we're all going to, we're all trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, I'm trying to think of any more.
Well, here's a question for you then, since we're on the subject. Well, Drag, why do black women do that thing with the neck?
But the neck snapping thing, or
yeah, the one where it like goes from side to side without like I can't do it with that sort of.
That whole thing is something that some
waving at the hand as
women
well.
I'm not sure what part of the United States that is one particular subset of black women did that, and then it just kind of caught on, and then it got blown up. I've no black woman in my family does that. My mother actually does something twice as weird. My mother actually cocks her neck almost 90 degrees when someone says something really fucking stupid, or she's about to murder one of her children, whichever one. And then she says, "Are you fucking serious?" And that's what she does.
Actually, though, that's not so weird, that, because I sometimes cock my head to one side when I'm like, really? I do that. Yeah, it's not. That's not unusual.
As opposed to Tommy Hall, who heads to one cock.
Guys, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want you to timestamp where I mentioned fried chicken watermelon and give it to G-Man. I want to see him run with it for a few weeks.
Oh, man.
Oh, that racist bastard! I don't understand jokes.
I'll send
Context.
Oh, there'd be weeks. It would be literally weeks of videos calling out JD on his racism. Oh,
no, he called me out for pandering.
This
pandering
is one
to what?
Oh, Uncle G-Man. Oof. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, honestly, we could discuss the whole slavery thing months. Because that just goes on forever.
I'm just going to make fun of his relationship with Ken Jones, and honestly, I mean, that's too much fun.
Well, here's something interesting. When G-Man talks about it, I just kind of roll my eyes like he's dumb enough to do it. When Ken does it, I'm sad.
Oh,
all you have to do is
about Ken. He just seems like this sweet guy, not very bright. Sorry, I mean, just didn't get much of the gene pool for our brains.
I'm
He just
calling you out.
All you've got to do is go onto Ken's channel and watch the video of him talking about paedophilia while sat on a kid's slide.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he obviously doesn't really get so much. So I want his parents to have taught him that slavery was wrong.
Our transatlantic friends won't get this. However,
that's another viewer gone.
I've just had a thought. Something that Ken reminds me of.
Tweety Bird.
No, there's a certain piece of music that used to get played on British radio while a sad story was being told. Remember the hour tune music?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I think when I listen and I hear Ken Jones speak. That melancholy, baleful tune. It's so sad.
I just want him to say, "Friend, fuck that."
I think I might have to superimpose the hour tune music onto Ken Jones, because it's just so sad, and it's just like a little gentle soul, isn't it?
You could do a lovely little edit of was it Tony Blackburn that used to do that, or
Simon Bates?
Bates, that's it. Yeah. So you should do like a little over talk like that of him having a love story, a tragic love story.
It must be interesting to to be a black person in someplace other than America, because that's all like my experience of the race relations in America. Where you go to other countries where they had slavery, but it's long gone now. It's been gone quite a bit longer, where the memories are kind of faded. It's gotta be awfully different.
Not really. I mean, they still get American media, so they still think most of us are criminals. I mean, you laugh, but it's true. All the people of color who are my friends, they say, yeah. I mean, I go visit Germany. Yeah, they love me. The Germany is a little bit different. Germany's odd because they have the history of it, but they also have an even worse history that people know about. Russia is like, oh, we know you have drugs. We see your American, movies and TV. We know you come here for drugs, and it's like, no, I came to fuck your women actually, but that's not.
I am screen sharing right now.
It does come to something when your history of slavery. It's the good part of your history.
Yeah.
That's the unoffensive bit. That's the bit. That was when things were going all right.
Right. Let me tell you this now. There's a temp at agency worker. She's a Polish girl. Well, I said girl. She's 37 years old. She don't look a day over 24. She's gorgeous. Little slip of a thing, right? And her English isn't very good. But when she opens up a bit and you start talking to her and conversation comes around, fucking hell, she is as racist as they come. Absolutely proper, full-on racist. And she says, we're all like that in Poland. I was shocked. And because the thing is, she's not a Polish Jew, she's a Polish Catholic.
They have got a big problem, especially in sport, haven't they? A lot of the football supporters, they're always getting their teams banned, Eastern European teams, especially the Russians, and for racist chanting.
Eastern European.
Yeah, football games.
Well, I can understand why the Polish people would be mad at, everybody. I mean, how easy they are to conquer. Just drive up to the border and you leave the parking brake off overnight, you wake up, we conquered Poland!
Yeah, why is it always them that gets invaded first? If it's not the Germans, it's the fucking Russians.
But yeah, I was quite startled by her racism.
At least it'll be Ukraine that goes first this time.
And that's kind of similar in some ways to the thing Wayne was saying earlier about America, which is, that kind of having those immigrants into this country has kind of changed the balance a little bit. And I feel there's, some steps back that we've had to go round, because you do hear casual racism in the street, whereas you didn't, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was kind of sorted in terms of social space, and etc. So that's kind of different and a step back, which is obviously we have to tackle again through the way we did before.
Let me tell you
the same thing. Let me just finish.
Sorry, go on.
It's the same thing I see in America because of the kickback from the religious right and the wealthy religious right in particular. So it's that kind of domination where you've just got to keep fighting it. and it seems to come in waves. You know,
there was a very funny thing that happened last year. I think it was last year. There was an influx of Roma. I think that's the correct term. Basically, the
G word.
Yeah, from wherever in Eastern Europe. Yeah. To a certain part, a very specific part of the city of Sheffield, called a suburb called Page Hall. And my friend lived there. He didn't live there anymore. He got relocated because he kept getting burgled. And he asked to relocate, and now he's in a more rural place. But it was the Roma were burgling him. They kept trying to steal his motorbike. But he had Muslim neighbours. They moved out, and then they moved these Roma in, and that's when the theft attempt started. He said his Muslim neighbours were the best neighbours he ever had. They said they cooked for him and all sorts. And here's the thing: this was actually a news piece. This were in British news. The Muslims of Page Hall complained and made a big kerfuffle about the Roma, saying, "These damned immigrants." There's these damned immigrants you brought into Sheffield. They're ruining Sheffield because they don't know true British values.
The irony.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
That's like Mexicans coming here. These motherfuckers don't know how to speak American.
I say that a lot of time as a joke. Actually, I'll tell people like, yeah, you need to speak American. I don't understand you. Just because I just love sounding like the dumb hick that I'm not quite. You know, like when people is talking race, I'm like, I'm not racist. I say blacks, Mexicans, and Jews.
Who was it, JD, high-profile figure that said the King James or something? The Bible was written.
If English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me.
That's right. Actually, we aren't really sure if that's a real quote or not. It's kind of been floating around the internet.
Yeah, Hitchens often quoted it, but I don't know if it's actually true.
No,
he didn't know for sure what the source was anymore.
No, I'm sure I've seen it coming from somebody's lips in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, G-Man.
No, it was I think somebody like Bachman, but might not be Bachman, if you know what I mean. I've actually seen
Palin. Probably Palin.
Honestly, I don't think anyone too important has said it. I mean, plenty of politicians are dumb. Most of them aren't that dumb.
I was going to say, Wayne, if you want to hear it, I think you just have to keep watching the Republican primaries. It will come up soon enough.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, who was the one that came up in the primary? The guy said, if you want to think you came from a primate, I understand. Like, you fucking dumbass.
Probably Santorum.
When I asked people, like, how many of you accept evolution, and some people didn't raise their hands, like, you run for president? Oh, shit. Then again, Bush was, we should look into intelligent design. So, I mean, we basically had a creationist in office. Was it
Bush that said about evolution that the jury was out?
The jury's still out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only about 150 years and scientists are still discussing it.
Well, I said it earlier on the Hangout, and I'm going to reiterate it. I think Rick Santorum is the only person on the planet whose face exhibits more butt hurt than Jason Burns.
Boy, can you blame him? Really, think about it. Think about what they did to this guy's name. His name is now a nasty sexual reference, a nasty homosexual sexual reference. So
go on, I don't follow.
So have you ever?
Well, hold on, let me Google it for you.
Yeah, Google Santorum and see what it actually means. I'm not sure who even they is. Somebody somewhere really had it out for Santorum. So they made. Go ahead, and read it, JD.
Well, it's a couple definitions. One is that frothy mixture of lube and fecal matter that is sometimes the byproduct of anal sex. Also, Senator Rick Santorum.
See, I just find it so arrogant that, because doesn't Santorum mean something like Holy of Holies or something like that? I find it so arrogant. Is it Sanctum Santorum? That means the Holy of Holies. I just find it so arrogant that somebody religious to be called that.
Honestly, if you Google Santorum, that what I showed to that Wikipedia is the first thing that comes up. It's about the campaign to the neologism on Santorum.
And sanctum's quite near to the word rectum.
So everyone's like, I wonder what Rick Santorum's all about. I wonder his policy. Let me Google it. Oh, he likes it in the butt. So
talking of Tommy Hall, I think we're just over we're 2 hours 20 minutes, so I think we need to sort of stop the live broadcast. So
yeah, because I don't like long hanging.
I'll ask everyone just for a closing message for Nate, if you would, and before, so we'll go left to right on my screen. So we'll go Cider first.
What was it? George Collins' 7 dirty words you can't say on television? Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cock, scum, motherfucker, tits.
Thank you very much. Drag, message for Nate.
I would really like to know how you procreated without looking your wife in the eye or saying any dirty words. I have a hard time imagining that.
JD.
Just stop talking. You're not bad on your own. It's when the words. Nate is okay in and of himself, but when the words come out, just like stop. You're not saying anything. You're saying a horrid bullshit. So stop that. You should look into it.
Louis. He's not there. Okay. Ray.
We're gonna suck fucking fight, Nate, and there's not really much anyone can do about it.
Simon.
I'm an anti-natalist, and I think we should plead for him to stop the suffering.
Wayne.
As Hitler might say, open Essen!
Wendy. Oh, Wendy's not there. Wolf, are you there? Message for Nate. All right. Please save us, Wolf.
I just want to ask: have you guys seen Kyle? He's about this high.
Wolf can't speak. He says, Nate, dare to know you prude middle ground fake nice guy motherfucker.
Well, I'll close the show off. Thanks for this Nate Cunningham episode and everyone that's contributed. And if we're still not in prison by next week, we'll do another show then. So thanks for watching and see you soon.
Bye-bye.